On the sandy wastes at Yucca Flat, Nevada, a new series of atomic explosions are set off. Tanks are among the obsolete pieces of Army equipment being tested in the exercises called Operation Teapot. More than 9,000 servicemen have been assembled at the proving grounds, ready to take their places in forward trenches. In a grim new age of warfare, today's fighting men must be taught survival on an atomic battlefield. While the troops take cover, the Army's giant new 100-inch camera is pointed toward the blast tower. Men tensely eye the control booth as the seconds tick off. The familiar mushroom cloud snakes skyward, hurling the atom's deadly radiation high into the heavens. Sound and shock waves roll over the men huddled in the trenches. Never before have we had such a close-up view. Lighting up the desert skies for miles around, the fierce fireball flare is the signal for instant action. Quickly, the men are ordered to leave their positions. The explosion's radioactive fallout is almost as dangerous as the blast itself. In the vitally important precaution of dusting each other off, the lowly broom becomes an item of military significance. Next, Geiger counters are used to check the troops for signs of radioactivity. Marching out of the shadow of the atom's awesome might come fighting men, symbolizing America's determination to keep strong in a restless world.
Within the last 2 years, more than 20 of these awesome blasts have echoed across the desolate Nevada desert. Interwoven throughout the story of the tests at Yucca Flats is a second story, the role played by the United States Air Force. 2 Air Force sniffer planes fall the assignment of invading the atomic cloud to gather specimens of radioactive particles for analysis by nuclear scientists. The sniffers carry filter traps mounted on the wings and fuselage during their cloud sampling missions. Their crews do a job considered impossible a few years ago. Today, advanced techniques permit the men to stay inside the radioactive cloud for a time without harm. Other Air Force experiments probe the effects of the blinding atomic light on the eyes of aircraft crewmen. Many types of goggles and protective lenses are tested. The volunteers will look directly at the fierce fireball flare of the atomic burst. Quickly, the men turn to instruments which record the effects of the searing flash. The tests go on. Aircraft, some obsolete, some new, are staked out at various angles from the blast, for we must learn how to protect our fighters and bombers. Special cameras in slow motion record each fraction of a second as the aircraft disintegrate under the shattering impact of this powerful force for destruction. From these films, the Air Force adds new pages to its knowledge and mastery of atomic warfare. Now, at a closely guarded airstrip, the most dangerous mission of all is about to begin. A B-50 waits to be loaded. For security reasons, the screen must be partially blacked out as an atom bomb is raised into position under the eyes of the supervising engineer. In the plane, codenamed Rosebud, 3 men share a heavy responsibility. The pilot, the radar navigator, and the bombardier. The target is that X 6 miles below. You're about to see the closest shot of an atom bomb blast yet released for public view. This is the story of America's ever-expanding atomic weapons program. This, within security limits, is the role played by the Air Force. Now, for civil defense, another realistic test is held. In a two-story house on Main and Elm Streets, a mannequin family waits, 3,500 feet from atomic destruction. They're lifeless dummies, but to the civil defense officials testing bomb shelters, they could help save lives. A second home stands a mile away. America is seeking through these drills to strengthen home front defenses, for their strength means our safety. Dozens of cars are on the streets of the ghost hamlet in Nevada. And marching to within 2 miles of the blast center, 1,500 GIs take cover in slit trenches, closer to an atomic explosion than any human being since Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Blast's blinding flash silhouettes observers 7 miles away. Then its ugly mushroom cloud swirls skyward. Within an hour, the dirt-caked troops, all safe, have abandoned their foxholes and are pushing through a veil of dust as GIs pointing Geiger counters lead the way. The closest house is leveled by the blast, equal to 15,000 tons of TNT, but small as A-bombs go. The second building, 7,500 feet from the explosion, still stands. Although protected by every device known to atomic scientists, troops are unable to penetrate to the blast center for many hours because of the deadly radioactive contamination shrouding the area. Val Peterson, Civil Defense Director, warns us to prepare, for this could be your house and your window. Here again, the atomic blast. 3,500 feet away, a split second later, past one of the cars exposed to the atomic fury, a civil defense official finally is able to reach the rubble of the two-story house we just saw topple. Almost unbelievably, mannequins in the basement bomb shelter are found to be unharmed. The second house seems to have suffered comparatively minor damage. Windows have been blown in. All Americans must work together, for the stronger our home front defenses, the less the chance an atomic attack will come.
Troops in Nevada prepare for an underground atomic explosion, the first ever photograph. As powerful as 1,000 tons of TNT, this weapon reportedly can be carried by one man. Radioactive debris flies skyward from another underground explosion as a new weapon, the atomic satchel, joins America's arsenal.
Town atom test measured a model village in the Nevada desert against the awesome power of nuclear energy. Buildings of various materials went up. $1 million worth of equipment was installed, including lifelike mannequins, and tons of food to measure the contamination caused by radiation. The big dolls were Survival Town's sole inhabitants. Tanks took part in their first atomic maneuvers, some less than a mile away, the closest yet in any test. Nearly 6,000 persons participated, including troops sheltered by trenches. Many cameras in many locations filmed the single blast. village in the desert held vital information on how to survive an enemy attack. With Geiger counters to check the radiation, experts assessed the damage. An aluminum building was left a gaping wreck. Concrete or cinder blockhouses weathered the blast best. This one was less than a mile away. Survival Town's electric wires had become a twisted, tangled mass. Demonstrating the importance of civil defense preparedness, the elaborate exercises proved survival is possible, offering new hope to all who live in the shadow of the atomic age. Navy ships steamed in late 1952 toward Enewetak Atoll on a momentous mission. The world's first hydrogen bomb, housed in this barn-like building, was to be exploded on a tiny target island named Elugeland. Strange, secret testing devices had been set up to measure mankind's most fearsome weapon. While the task force cruised 50 miles from the doomed island, the seconds closer and closer to the first hydrogen blast on Earth.
Minus 15 seconds. Minus 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 10.
Watch the shockwave as it rolls toward the flagship. The fixed and boiling cloud surges to a height of 40,000 feet 2 minutes after zero. 10 minutes later, it has snaked skyward 10 miles. Observers fly toward the target center. The islands surrounding Elugelab have been swept almost clean by the fireball flare, which enveloped an area 3 miles wide in the twinkling of an eye. Elugelab is gone. Nothing there but a deep crater and water. From an island that once was, but is no more, out of an ugly mushroom cloud, mankind enters the hydrogen age, an era of danger, of challenge, of opportunity.